Hello! Today, we'll be showing you how to replace the motherboard in an HP11 G3 Chromebook. First, you will need a few tools. An anti-static mat is recommended to prevent electrostatic discharge, which can damage electronic parts. A small, magnetic tip Phillips head screwdriver will be necessary for this replacement. A spudger will also come in handy during this replacement. You can use either plastic or metal, whichever you prefer. If you have tweezers, you might also want to have them handy, as they may be useful when dealing with small parts. The first step in the motherboard replacement process will be to remove the 11 bottom cover screws. 2 of the screws are beneath the 2 rubber feet in the rear of the bottom cover, so you will need to remove those as well. Next, you will use your spudger to go around the perimeter of the palm rest assembly and carefully pry it up. Now, you will disconnect the touchpad cable from the motherboard. Next, you will disconnect the keyboard cable from the motherboard. Now that the palm rest assembly is removed, you will disconnect the battery cable from the motherboard. Next, you will remove the 6 battery screws and then remove the battery. Now, you will disconnect the 2 Wi-Fi antenna cables from the Wi-Fi card. Next, you will remove the Wi-Fi card screw and then remove the Wi-Fi card. Now, you will disconnect the speaker cable from the motherboard. Next, you will disconnect the SD card cable from the motherboard. Now, you will disconnect the power cable from the motherboard. Next, you will disconnect the keyboard cable from the motherboard. Now you will remove the 5 motherboard screws and then remove the motherboard. The first step in the installation of your replacement motherboard will be to set it into place and replace the 5 motherboard screws. Next, you will reconnect the keyboard cable to the motherboard. Now, you will reconnect the power cable to the motherboard. Next, you will reconnect the SD card cable to the motherboard. Now, you will reconnect the speaker cable to the motherboard. Now, you will replace the Wi-Fi card and the Wi-Fi card screw. Next, you will reconnect the 2 Wi-Fi antenna cables to the Wi-Fi card. Now, you will set the battery into place and replace the 6 battery screws. Next, you will reconnect the battery cable to the motherboard. Now, you will reconnect the keyboard cable to the motherboard. Next, you will reconnect the touchpad cable to the motherboard. Now, you will snap the palm rest assembly into place on the bottom cover. The final step will be to replace the 11 bottom cover screws and the 2 rubber feet on the bottom cover. You have now successfully replaced the motherboard in your HP Chromebook. Good job!